Back now to our breaking news at 3:30 as the Supreme Court has overturned the landmark Roe versus Wade ruling that has stood for about 50 years. The decision by the court's conservative majority is expected to lead to abortion bans in roughly half of the states. So here's a map now put up by the Guttmacher Institute, a pro-abortion rights organization. In yellow, that's where abortion access would still be permitted. Restricted or banned is in red, and to be determined, that's purple on the map. Pregnant women considering abortions already had been dealing with near complete bans in Oklahoma and a prohibited ban after about roughly 6 weeks of pregnancy in Texas. Clinics in at least 5 other states, Alabama, Kentucky, Missouri, Wisconsin, and West Virginia, all stopped performing abortions today right after the Supreme Court's decision. Right now, California's Democratic Senator Alex Padilla is joining us to share his reaction to the Supreme Court's decision. Senator Padilla, thank you so much for joining us here during KRON 4 News at 3.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. It's obviously a critical day.
So what changes in California if a woman wants an abortion here?
Okay, well, the good news for California is we have strong laws at the state level protecting a woman's access to abortion, reproductive care more broadly. But the fight here is that every woman in America, every person in America deserves the same access, deserves the same protection. So let's begin by applauding the governor and the legislature for standing firm in California, partnering with the states of Oregon and Washington to ensure access not just to the folks within our state, but any person who may need to travel to our state to receive care that they will no longer be able to access in their home states. But let's be clear-eyed. The fight at the national level is alive and well. I know I'll do everything as a senator that I can to enshrine a woman's right to choose in federal law. And we're going to be appealing to every voter as we approach November to keep this in mind when we go to the ballot.
Can you be more specific about what women coming from other states to California to get an abortion can expect?
So again, California has a pretty good health infrastructure to accommodate women who need reproductive care of all types. And if there are women in other states that are not able to access the care that they need in their home state, and they are willing and do travel to California, they're not going to be denied. Again, the governor, the legislature they're putting their money where their mouth is through the state budget, ensuring that providers in California have the resources and capacity to see this increase in abortions and other care that are anticipated now that the Supreme Court has ruled, just as we expected a couple months ago when the draft opinion first leaked.
Yeah, it wasn't a surprise, but it's still bringing a lot of emotions to the surface today. Justice Thomas hinted that gay rights and access to contraception, that's what's next. What will you be doing to protect those rights?
Yeah, look, that was a big wake-up call when the draft opinion first leaked, that the very logic or justification that this extreme Supreme Court majority used to undo the protections of Roe v. Wade. And it's worth reminding all of us that have stood for nearly 50 years. The same rationale they used to undo those rights can easily be applied to undo the right to access to contraception, birth control, interracial marriage, marriage equality, and so many other rights. I mean, it seems like a perfect storm. We saw what the Supreme Court did to voting rights going back to 2013. We saw what they did to gun safety just yesterday in their case for concealed weapons in New York, and now what they're doing when it comes to abortion. So a lot of the progress that had been made, a lot of the rights that had been achieved over the course of our nation's history are all of a sudden in jeopardy. So we have more work to do in Congress, especially in the Senate, but every American can do their part. Tonight, we can be enraged. Tonight, we can protest. We can raise our voice, but make sure that we get out and vote in November, and it keeps in mind when you're filling out that ballot.
Yes, how will this motivate voters for the midterms?
Okay, I think voters on both sides are going to be motivated because if Republicans regain the majority in Congress, I can assure you, being in the Senate, if Republicans regain the majority in the Senate, then undoing Roe v. Wade is just a sign of things to come. This is just the beginning, but it's up to the voters to put an end to it.
And they will in November. Senator Alex Padilla, thank you so much for joining us here during KRON 4 News at 3.
All right, thank you so much.
And as the senator just mentioned, Governor Newsom, along with the governors of Washington and Oregon, announced a new multi-state commitment to protect abortion rights. They say these states will be safe for all people seeking abortions and other reproductive health care services. So let's listen now to their video message in full.
Reproductive freedoms are under attack.
Red states and Republican-stacked courts have rolled back the rights of Americans.
Today, with the Supreme Court ruling to overturn Roe v. Wade, more than half the states in the United States ban abortion outright or severely restrict access to abortion services.
That's why California, Oregon, and Washington are building the West Coast offense to protect patients' access to reproductive care.
We're going to work with our legislators, with our providers, with our patient advocates.
We will continue to protect patients from any state who come to our states for abortion care.
Defend doctors, nurses, and medical professionals working to support patients seeking reproductive care in our states.
We're going to protect patient privacy.
We will resist intrusions by out-of-state prosecutors, law enforcement, or vigilantes trying to investigate patients receiving services in our states.
Stop misinformation.
And we're going to expand access to abortion services for the people in need.
We will not stand on the sidelines.
The West Coast United States is going to stand strong.
We'll fight like hell to protect your rights and your safety.